Now let's take a look at the end of day cleaning actually done on the machine the way you're going to be doing it. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw approximately 30 cc's of cleaning or flushing solution into our syringe. And to make it easier to clean the printhead, I'm going to lower the bed. So I'm going to hold the down button until it stops. Now it's at its lowest point, making it easier to access the printhead. Now we're going to put the machine into a head cleaning. Now as you do this, you're going to want to be standing on the side of the machine over by the printhead. So notice my ready light is pulsing. That means the machine is in a hibernation mode. So the first thing I want to do before I even begin this is wake it up. So I'm going to just hit the enter button for a moment. Give it a moment. The head's going to move over, come back. And now we're back in a ready status. Light solid green now, not pulsing, and we're in ready mode. So to put the machine into a head cleaning, we simply hold the menu button for approximately 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. It starts the head cleaning. The light is blue, flashing, indicating it's in the middle of doing something, in this case the head cleaning, and it actually gives us that status on the display panel. So now we're looking, of course, over by where the capping station and the printhead are. You just saw the head move away. That was the first time. During that first movement, we don't do anything. Okay, I've got the syringe poised. I am not holding the tip of the syringe over by the printhead because I don't want to drip any liquid onto that printhead or anything. So I'm holding it away from the machine. Now I'm getting it ready. And as the printhead moves away and exposes the capping station, it's going to rise up. And hear that little noise? That noise is the evacuation pump running. As long as that pump is running, I'm going to continue to squirt both sides of the pads and fill them up with some liquid. And when it stops, I'm going to stop. Now, as we squirt those pads, what we're doing is that liquid is being drawn into the pad, thus cleaning that pad, and being drawn down into the pump. That's going to help clean the pump and the lines going from the pads through the pump down into our waste bottle. By keeping that clean, that's going to assist when we do a head cleaning to help draw ink down through the print head. So it is very important that on a daily basis we are squirting this capping station. Now that print head's going to come back and it's going to move out for the third time, giving us our second opportunity to squirt those pads. Again, we're only going to squirt as long as that evacuation pump is running. As soon as it stops, we stop squirting. Between those two sessions, you should be able to get somewhere between 30 and 35 cc's of solution in there. You want to squirt fast enough to keep it full, but not so fast that it splashes around inside here. Again, making sure we're getting both sides, the white side and the color side. Keep alternating. Okay, now we're going to look on the right hand side, and we'll show you that in just a moment. We're going to watch this little post right here, okay? When the head goes out and that post disappears, I'm going to hit the emergency stop button. That will imply that the wiper is in the out or extended position. So the print head's moving away, and we're watching that little tab. And when it goes over, I hit the emergency stop button. Now, if we look over at the wiper, I'm going to grab the printhead and move it out of the way, and now we see that the wiper in fact is out in front of the capping station in the extended position, giving us access so we can clean it. So now let's look at the cleaning procedure for the rubber seal as well as the wiper blade. So I'm going to dip my foam swab into some cleaning or flushing solution, and the first thing I want to do is I want to get all of this ink. See that little piece that fell on there? We want to brush that off of there, but do you see this right here? That's actually dried ink. That's what we're getting off of there. Okay, we want to get that seal nice and clean. Don't forget that little middle section. Okay, I'm going to take a paper towel and I'm going to just dab out that foam swab. Now I'm going to brush it a little more. And I'm going to wipe it out again. And there we are, nice and clean. There's no residual ink left on that rubber seal. Now we need to do the wiper blade. You want to make sure you get both the front. I'm on the back right now, so the back, you want to get the front, and you want to make sure you get that top edge. We want to make sure there's no ink left on this at all. So I'm going to dab it off again, continue to wipe. See all that ink right there? Okay, we want to make sure we get all that off. And don't be afraid to get in there with a pair of tweezers or your fingers and get those chunks out of there. Now when this is clean, again, it should be beautiful, shiny, black with no hint of like a blue or a blue-gray color. That blue or blue-gray color indicates that there's still ink on that wiper blade. You're going to see by it being nice and shiny, okay, that nice smooth surface, that's letting you know that that is perfectly clean. See how nice and clean that is. Okay, we're going to bring a light in here, and if we pull this back, you can see how nice and shiny and smooth that surface is. That's how we know that it's clean. And again, it's the top edge, the front, and the back. Alright, so now our wiper blade is nice and clean. So now our seal is clean. We've squirted the capping station, so now that's been cleaned. Now the next thing we're going to do is you also want to, once a week, we want to clean the end coater strip, and we want to do that while the print head is free. So we're going to grab a paper towel and we're going to dip it in a little cleaning or flushing solution. And I'm going to drape it over the end coater strip, and I'm going to very gently wipe the end coater strip. So I'm going to just gently pinch it here, and we're going to go across. Get it again. And we don't want to pull on this too much, so just be careful with this. And we want to wipe that encoder strip off. Now, we're going to go to the other side. I'm going to move the printhead. Now that I've cleaned down by where the printhead is, I'm going to move the printhead out of the way. And I'm going to grab down this end. And I'm going to wipe that encoder strip off. Now what we like to do is we like to wipe it off, and then we like to look at the paper towel. Now this one's clean. If it came back with a little bit of residue on it, I would flip it over and I would get the clean side. So again, we're just grabbing a hold of it very carefully, squeezing it gently, and we're just wiping the whole thing. Make sure you get from one end to the other. So that's how we clean the encoder strip, and that's done once a week. So our wiper blade and capping station is daily, the squirting is daily, the encoder strip is once a month. Now we also need to look underneath at the bottom of the printhead and clean that, and that's done on a daily basis. So let's take a look at this. Now that we've cleaned the capping station, the wiper, our weekly encoder cleaning, we're now going to clean the bottom of the printhead. Now the bottom of the printhead needs to be done daily. You at least want to inspect it daily, possibly clean it daily. Anytime you see dirt on this, you want to make sure you get it off and get it clean, because if it gets a buildup of ink, especially along those bottom edges, what that'll do is that'll prevent the capping station from capping properly. Also, the ramps, you're taking all this time to get that wiper clean, so if you have a nice clean wiper and then your ramps are dirty, when the wiper wipes across the bottom of the ramp, it's going to pick up that dirt. So I'm going to take a paper towel, I'm going to take my finger, and I'm going to dip it into some cleaning solution. Now I've been mentioning throughout this to use either cleaning or flushing solution for everything, but when it comes to actually cleaning around the printhead, I actually like the stronger solution, the cleaning solution, so that's what I'm using in this case. And I'm simply now going to clean those parts that we looked at earlier. I'm going to start with the ramp. Okay, and I've got my hand up on the top of the printhead to kind of hold it down so it doesn't jump on me. And I'm just going to wipe this ramp off. That's this little angled piece of plastic you see off to the right hand side of the printhead. And I just want to get this all nice and clean. Okay, now, after we've got the ramp clean, the next thing we want to do is clean around the front, back, left and right edges of the printhead itself. Now when we're doing this, this is where we need to be careful. Remember, we don't want to hit the print surface. We want to be careful around that print surface. Now if you accidentally brush up against it, that's going to happen occasionally. We just want to be careful when we're doing this. So we're going to start by doing the back edge. And then the front edge, and you can see this one, how beautifully clean this is. Then the metal strip on the left-hand side. You can see there's a little bit of ink on that. And then the one on the right-hand side. And again, there is a little bit of ink on this. Okay, now that's nice and clean. Now we're going to power the machine back up by releasing the emergency stop button and turning on the power and let it dock. Now you do want to keep in mind that as you're doing this cleaning, that printhead is being exposed to air. So kind of keep that in mind as to how long you've been doing this for. You might, if it's taking a very long time because you haven't cleaned it properly, on a daily basis, and it got very dirty, if it's taking a very long time, you might want to reset the power and then do another cleaning and then have it come out again so that head isn't exposed to air for an extremely long period of time. So we're going to reset the emergency stop, turn the power back on, let it redock, and that is our cleaning at the end of the day.